Alright, so this is part 3. 90's TV shows that never took off. I don't know if Foreman is going to be on this list or not. It should. And I think they already brought up Dougie Doug show on the part 2. I'm trying to remember. See this one.
The train hasn't stopped just yet, folks. We're still on our trip down memory lane, reminiscing about TV shows from the 90s that never took off. Here's part 3 for your viewing pleasure. If you haven't already, when you're done watching this video, don't forget to check out parts 1 and 2. You Take the Kids aired on CBS from December 15th, 1990 to January 12th.
Didn't know about this one either. I just there's this channel on YouTube. I think the guy brought it back because it was gone before. I think called Rare Gems. All these shows never seen before. A young a young Mos Def didn't even know he was in the TV back then. I know he was on that Cosby thing yesterday, the Cosby Mystery, but I didn't know he was around back then. Just discovered these shows like months ago. So they're all a lot of this stuff is new to me, and I don't know if they're gonna bring up what's that show called, Homeroom or something like that. Is that gonna be on the list?
1991. It was perceived as being the black answer to Roseanne due to its portrayal of a working-class African-American family. The sitcom focuses on Nell Carter as Nell Kirkland, the opinionated matriarch
Nell
of a
Carter, remember her.
African-American family living in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Fun fact, she also performed the theme song called Nobody's Got It Easy.
Nobody's got it easy. His life keeps rolling out. The easy the door, the trouble don't come knocking upon.
Nell's husband Michael, played by Roger E. Mosley, works as a school bus driver, while she gives piano lessons at the family home for extra money. The couple has 4 children. 16-year-old Raymond, played by Dante Bizet, 14-year-old Lorette, played by Karen Ward, 12-year-old Peter, played by Marlon Taylor, and 10-year-old Nate, played by Trent Cameron. In addition to the kids, Nell and Michael also had to contend with Nell's very opinionated mother, Helen,
I didn't
played
even
by
say his first name, Mos Def's real name.
Fun fact, if Dante Bizet looks familiar,
Dante.
that's because he went on to become the successful rap artist, singer, producer, and actor known as Mos Def.
Well, Yassine Bey, they call
The
him now.
reviews for the show were brutal. The Washington Post didn't hold back. You Take the Kids isn't a television show, it's a tombstone. There's a nice shady spot waiting for it in the network's burial ground.
Oh,
the Desert
come on.
News said more of the same. The comparisons to Roseanne are obvious, both in the working class setting and the size of the stars. But while Roseanne succeeds, despite its stars' personal failings, You Take the Kids just doesn't have the spark. About the best thing that can be said about the show is that it's not terrible, but it also isn't funny. A definite problem.
I saw a couple episodes that's pretty good. What are they talking about?
Not surprisingly, the show was canceled after airing only 5 of the 6 episodes produced. Rhythm and Blues aired on NBC from September 24th, 1992 to October 22nd, 1992, with an additional leftover episode airing on February 12th, 1993. Veronica Washington, played by Anna Maria Horsford, is the owner of fictional WBLZ, a struggling black radio station in Detroit. She hears the soulful voice of Bobby Soul, played by Roger Kabler, and, sight unseen, offers him a job on her station to boost ratings. There's just one small issue. He's white. When Veronica discovers this, she's stunned and apprehensive about having him work there, but eventually decides to give him a
They
chance.
all looked at him funny. Know about that?
Isabel Calloway as Colette Hawkins, the station's program director. Tori
They
Curry
looked
Jr.
at him
as
like
DJ the Love Man. Christopher Babbers as Earl Ziggy Washington, Veronica's young son. Ron Glass as Don Phillips, sales manager.
Ron Glass.
And Miguel A. Nunez Jr. as DJ Jammin. Billy Sly Williams originally played the role of Jammin in the pilot only.
Do not remember the
what
show
went
at all.
wrong? Well, critics and viewers found the premise racist and insulting. They knocked the series concept, saying it was about a white man who saves a black radio station. White critics also said a show built around a white being the butt of black jokes was no more appropriate than a show built around a black being the butt of white jokes. Creator and executive producer Jordan Moffat voiced how upset he was about the outcry over the first episodes to the LA Times. I understand the criticism, but it was overblown in context. It was unfairly characterized as racist. The show was a positive portrayal of minorities in the workplace. It showed a black female
I never
running
seen
a
the
radio
show.
station. The show wasn't reviewed as being funny or unfunny. It was more of a political matter.
Hey everybody, it's Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi. I have a question for you. If you had to make a choice between having massive impact on people...
The displeasure was reflected in the ratings. Viewership dropped 25% from the first episode to the second. Ken Horton, Senior Vice President of Current Programming for 20th Television, the producers of Rhythm and Blues, said that the political and social climate following the Rodney King beating and the civil unrest in Los Angeles may have played a part in the audience's disapproval of the concept. Another problem was differing versions between 20th and NBC on the show's direction. Horton said 20th always saw the show as an ensemble comedy, but that NBC wanted to showcase Roger, a stand-up comic who does impressions. Despite being listed among NBC's must-see TV Thursday night lineup after A Different World and before Cheers, the show was canceled after 5 weeks. Tall Hopes aired on CBS from August 25th, 1993 to September 8th, 1993. The show...
Let me get that back. Yeah, they had so many different shows in the 90s till it was sickening. Just discovered this that same channel, Rare Gems. It was like Tall Hopes. I was like, I never heard of this either. I know who Terrence Howard and the mother is, and that dude there, but I don't know. I don't remember it back then.
Aired on CBS from August 25th, 1993 to September 8th, 1993. The show centered on 14-year-old whiz kid Ernest Harris, played by Kenny Blank, struggling to get as much family attention as his 16-year-old brother Chester, played by Terrence Howard, a high school basketball star. The family also included Father George, played by George Wallace, Mother Amy, played by Anna Maria Horsford, and the boy's younger sister Dee Dee, played by Carla Green. Variety believed that the lack of chemistry between the cast and the low production quality stood out the most. Unfortunately, a new sitcom can't make it on the script's ideals alone, or CBS's new Tall Hopes would be a slam dunk. But this family value fuel comedy, revolving around mom, dad, and 3 children, one a heavily recruited basketball player, can't overcome its shallow feel and rookie production values. Tall Hopes, originally scheduled for a 4-week summer run, only aired 3 out of the 6 filmed episodes, before quickly falling off the face of the earth.
3 episodes.
Under One Roof aired on CBS from March 14, 1995 to April 18, 1995. The drama series follows the lives of 3 generations of a middle-class African-American family sharing a two-family house
that woman there
in
plays
Seattle,
in everything.
Washington. The lower unit is occupied by family patriarch Nesbitt Ned Langston, played by James Earl Jones, a recently widowed police officer who's taken in a troubled foster child, 16-year-old Marcus Henry, played by Merlin Santana. Neb's adult daughter, Beverly, who prefers to be called Aisha, played by Monique Ridge, also lives with them. The upper unit is occupied by Neb's adult son, played by Joe Morton, a former Marine who's just opened a hardware store, and his wife, Margaret, better known as Maggie, played by Vanessa Bell Calloway, who's having reservations about re-entering the workforce after being a stay-at-home mom to their 2 children. 10-year-old Derek, played by Ronald Joshua Scott, and 15-year-old Charlie, played by Essence Atkins. The reviews couldn't be more glowing. The New York Times gave it one of the highest praises, calling it the best new family drama of the season. Variety concurred. Under One Roof, which producers say is the first network dramatic series to star an African-American cast since NBC's 1979 Harris and Company, gets off to a charming start with all the right ingredients in place. One definitely wants to hang out under this roof. Entertainment Weekly gave it a fantastic grade of A-. In any case, it's hard to imagine that the cast could be any better. Morton and Calloway make a marvelous couple, ambitious, complicated, loving, and sorely tested. And Jones modulates his often overwhelming presence here, scaling down his performance to fit that of a retirement-age fellow who's still feeling the loss of his wife. And the LA Times, whose review came out after all 6 episodes had aired, said, Under One Roof is an excellent program. It is extremely well written, acted, directed, and produced. I tune into CBS every week. Further, it is not merely a program for the black audience, but for all audiences. It communicates honestly with the human in all of us, and it's enjoyable to watch. Sadly, the ratings didn't match the reviews, and the series was canceled. Good Behavior premiered on August 26, 1996.
Don't remember this one either.
And ran until May 19, 1997.
Good Behavior.
Willie Good, played by Sherman Hemsley, is a newly paroled convicted con artist. He's also the father of Franklin Good, played by Dorian Wilson, his estranged son,
know him. That's,
who is a
what's
college
his name?
professor about to be Dean of Humanities. Willie was able to be paroled under one condition. He must stay under house arrest in care of his son, who hadn't spoken to him in years. Dorian is not too crazy about this idea at all, and his wife Barbara, played by Alex Datcher, a local news anchor, and teenage daughter Bianca, played by Bianca Lawson, even less so. The main cast is rounded out by Chancellor Willoughby, the school's chancellor, played by Joseph Marr, and Garth, played by Scott Grimes. Unlike the other shows on this list, its first and last season managed to pump out a respectable 22 episodes. That didn't end up mattering much, though, since it got canceled anyway. Arsenio, the series, not the talk show, aired from March 5th, 1997
Just discovered
to
that.
April 23rd, 1997. Set in Atlanta, Georgia, former late-night talk show host Arsenio Hall.
That guy, or girl, whoever's uploading this stuff, had to have been a big TV show fanatic to remember all that stuff. Because you remember the Arsenio Hall, the night talk show, but not the TV show. So there was a lot of shows back then. You can't even. Oh boy, it was a lot.
Stars as Michael Atwood, the host of a sports cable show. He's newly married to his attorney wife, Vivian DeVoe Atwood, played by
Vivica Fox, of course, we know who
his
that is.
co-host and good friend, Al O'Brien, is played by
think of Arsenio, we think of
Michael
the
sometimes
talk
asks for
show.
advice on his home life. Living with Michael and Vivian is her younger
night show,
brother
really.
Matthew, played by Alini Ballard. Shawnee Smith also co-stars as Vivian's old college friend, Laura Lawman. The show experienced major drama behind the scenes from the start. Creator and executive producer David Rosenthal was ousted after 3 episodes, following an infamous tiff with Hall. The network had high hopes for the show, evidenced by the $900,000 per episode license fee. It received lukewarm reviews, with many liking Hall, but not the show. While only 7 episodes aired and ABC pulled it from the schedule earlier than expected, Variety reported that
These
talks
shows
were
can't
underway
catch a
between
can't
the
catch a
network and
break.
producers to
7
retool Arsenio
episodes.
for the next season. It wasn't meant to be, as the show did end up being canceled. Good News,
boy.
also known as The Good News, aired on UPN from August 25th, 1997 to May 19th, 1998.
Oh, I seen him
The
before,
sitcom
too.
focuses on David Randolph, played by David Ramsey, a young acting pastor designated to a church in
Never heard of this either.
California. Initially, the majority of
some
the
of these
church's
people
members are
I've
not
never heard of these
thrilled about
shows.
him replacing their former pastor. With the help of the church's secretary, Vera Hudson, played by Rose Jackson Moy, in the pilot only, David attempts to reunite the church and help his congregation. Other cast members include Roz Ryan as the church's cook, Hattie Dixon, Tracy Sherelle Jones as the church's youth director, Cassie Coleman, Jasmine Lewis as church secretary, Vanita Stansbury, Guy Torrey as young choir member and assistant, Lil T, and Alexia Robinson as new church member, Mona Phillips. Like Good Behavior, Good News aired 22 episodes in its first season.
Good
but
Behavior
it would be
and
its
Good
last,
News.
As it was canceled
These shows,
because the show didn't
titles,
meet
boy.
UPN's rating requirements to continue with the second season. 413 Hope Street aired on the Fox network from September 11, 1997 to January 1st, 1998.
Never heard of this one
The
either.
series, co-created by actor and comedian Damon Wayans, was named for the address of the New York City Crisis Center, catering to inner-city youth and their families. Its founder, a successful corporate executive,
Oh, I know who Richard
Phil
Roundtree
Thomas,
is.
played by Richard Roundtree, started the center
That
in
lady
the
too.
building at the site where his teenage son was brutally gunned down for his sneakers.
Mm.
The main cast also includes Sherry Headley as Juanita Harris, a counselor, Vincent Laresca as Carlos Martinez, the boyfriend of a teen mother who seeks the center's services and later loses her life, Stephen Barra as Quentin Jefferson, an HIV-positive teen, Kareem Prince as Melvin Todd, a flamboyant gay teen, Jesse L. Martin as Antonio Collins, staff psychologist, Dawn Stern as Angelica Collins, Antonio's wife, Kelly Caulfield as Sylvia Jennings, the center's attorney, and Michael Easton as Nick Carrington, a former drug addict and counselor. While the South Florida Sun-Sentinel reported that there's no mistaking that the primary target audience for the show is minorities, Damon said he hoped to broaden the audience through a mainstream soundtrack. Music will be used wisely. What I don't want to do is ghettoize this in any way. People hear rap music, they go, oh, it's not for me. But this show is for everybody.
What's your credit card debt balance? If it's $10,000 or more, here are 3 easy solutions you can start implementing today. And number 3 is an absolute game changer. Number 1, the first step to tackling your credit card debt is understanding how much debt you actually have and how long it could follow you around for if you're only making minimum payments or have fallen behind. Minimum payments could literally keep you in debt for decades. $10,000 in debt can take anywhere from 14 to 26 years to pay off if you're only paying the minimums. And that's just $10,000. I know many of us have a lot more than that. Number 2, try this popular method to tackle debt.
The series was canceled after 10 episodes, but how much of a chance did it really have going up against top-rated NBC sitcoms?
They said the other show, not good news. It was another. Can't remember. He's had so many shows. She said the one show went 22 episodes and still got the boot. I said, oh, that is rough. It's 22 episodes is better than 3 episodes and then you're gone. But man, all these shows that there was probably 100 shows back then or something. Just cancel quick and gone.
Seinfeld. Built to Last aired on NBC from September 24th, 1997 until October 15th, 1997. Set in Washington, D.C., the series centers on Royale Watkins, played by Royale Watkins, who put his career on hold to help run the family business, Watkins Construction, after his father had a mild heart attack. Fun fact, since Royale Watkinson's real-life father ran an actual construction company in D.C., Built to Last is said to be loosely based on his real life. Royale's father, Russell, is played by Paul Winfield, and his mother, Sylvia, is played by Denise Dowse. He also has 4 siblings.
Yeah, see, I know some of a lot of these shows. I know some of the people, but just never heard of these shows. And because the 90s, there was more shows back then besides people call it Urkel, but Family Matters, Martin, Fresh Prince, and all that. It was way more shows than them. So like a lot of these on this part 3, I just never heard of them. Know the people, but know a lot of the people, but don't know the show. Never heard of these shows.
Robert, played by Jeffrey Owens. Randall, played by J. Lamont Poe.
A lot of shows.
Kemi, played by Natalie DeSalle-Reed. And Rice, played by Jeremy Suarez. Richard Spite Jr. played intern Stanley Taylor in the pilot episode only. Out of 8 episodes, only 3 aired before the show was canceled. Damon aired on Fox from March 22nd, 1998 to July 20th, 1998. Damon Thomas, played by Damon Wayans.
Oh yeah, the show.
This
is way before my wife and kids did. We still don't know the show.
Bernard, played by Damon's In Living Color co-star David Allen Greer, who is a rent-a-cop home security officer.
He's been a rent-a-cop home security
precinct,
officer.
Captain Carol Zemenko, played by Andrea Martin, is Damon's boss. Stacey Phillips, played by Melissa D'Souza, is Damon's sometimes partner. Carol Fontaine, played by Dawn Herrera, is also a fellow officer. Jimmy Tortone, played by Julio Oscar Mechoso, is a semi-legit Cuban con artist. And Billy McCarthy, played by Greg Fitz, is the ignorant new recruit. Rounding out the list of main characters is Tracy Warren, played by Veronica Webb, a Chicago Sun-Times reporter. After 413 Hope Street flopped, Damon Wayans decided it was time to get back to his comic roots, and back in front of the camera. Even though the show squeezed out more episodes than 413, 13 compared to 10, it also ended with a cancellation. Getting Personal aired on Fox from April 6, 1998 to October 16, 1998. The series focuses on Robin Buckley, played by Vivica A. Fox, who becomes the new creative
I think
director
I've seen this on
of an
Rare
advertising
Gems too,
company
but I still
in
never
Chicago,
heard of it
Illinois.
until
Whose
a
boss,
couple of months
Milo
ago.
Doucette, played by Dwayne Martin, is a guy that she knew.
Yeah, again, that person there was a big time TV TV show fanatic, because never heard of this stuff. Like I remember, like I said, George Foreman had a show, and Dougie Doug and all that stuff. And what was it? South Central, the TV show, not the movie. But these just, I must have just they slipped past me. Never heard of them, or never heard of them until a couple months ago. From that, like I said, that y'all gotta check out that Rare Gems channel. He be having she, whoever's running that channel, got all kind of good stuff up there.
From a bad date they went on. Sam Wagner, played by John Cryer, is Milo's best friend and the one who set Robin and Milo up to have that horrible experience. Leon Skies Pettibone, played by Reggie Hayes, is the assistant, and Jack Hekmarczyk, played by Elliot Gould, is the owner of the company. Creators Jeff Greenstein and Jeff Strauss, who'd been writing and producing partners for 15 years, ended up parting ways going into the second season of the show. According to Greenstein, Fox executives wanted to focus more of getting personal on the love-hate relationship between Milo and Robin, and put the Milo and Sam friendship on the back burner. And they wanted to play up the sexual aspects of the show even more. Greenstein decided he wasn't interested in doing that show. Strauss decided he was. So Greenstein moved on. He didn't miss much though, as the second season only produced 7 episodes compared to the first season's 10, and was soon canceled. Lynx aired on Showtime from August 1st, 1998 to February 13th, 2000. Fun fact, it was created by actor, comedian, and film director Tim Reed, along with a Different World producer, Susan Fales Hill, and was the first television series to be filmed at Tim's New Millennium Studios in Petersburg, Virginia. The series stars Stephen Williams as Russell A. Link Lincoln, the owner of Link's Bar and Grill in Washington, D.C. Golden Brooks plays Susie Jennings, a waitress at Link's and a single mother. George Stanford Brown as conservative lobbyist Johnny B. Good, Pam Grier as his liberal counterpart Eleanor Brathwaite Winthrop, and Joe Inscoe as Harlan Hubbard IV, an aide to an old Southern senator, make up the rest of the main cast. Fun fact, Tim Reed's wife, fellow actor Daphne Maxwell Reed, plays a recurring role as Eartha, a prostitute. The Baltimore Sun said,
that was the second
is that rarest of TV commodities, a series about minorities, in this case African Americans, that treats them as people, not as demographics. The blacks mingling inside Link's Bar and Grill are a mix of Democrat and Republican, conservative and liberal, erudite and sassy. Like any cross-section of humanity, there's a little bit of everything. While Link's pulled off 2 seasons, with 15 and 22 episodes respectively, it failed to win over viewers.
Yeah, they forgot about I forgot it was in part 2. They forgot about the George Foreman. I think they talked about South Central and Where I Live. Yeah, they forgot about the George Foreman show. I don't know how long that lasts. That probably got, I know that got cut. I can't remember all of it, but I know that probably got cut short too, because that's when I think that was on the Rare Gems channel as well. So, but that's frustrating. One show or 2 shows only got 3 episodes, and one show got 7. And that one show he said 22 episodes and still cut the legs off. I said, oh, that sucks. Like I said before, they need to make a channel that plays like all the old school stuff, or network or something, because people will watch it, and like stuff they never seen before. For a fact, somebody will watch them.